Hello everyone. This Shabbos is Shabbos Parsha Hazinu. It is Shabbos Shuvah and the Shabbos before Yom Kippur. If you excuse me for getting personal a little bit, the reason why we got these weekly videos, Divrei Torah, started was Le'ilui Nishmas, my baby daughter Ita, who tragically passed last year Yom Kippur. And as strange as it is to say, we're coming to her first yahrzeit. So obviously that brings back many thoughts and many feelings. And throughout the year, from the beginning, a certain sicha of the Rebbe regarding Parshas Hazinu kept coming to mind. And it remained pertinent throughout the year, and that's what I want to share right now. Hazinu is called Shiras Hazinu, the Song of Hazinu. What's the Parsha about? It is Moshe saying to the Jewish people, you have witnesses heaven and earth that you are Hashem's people. Look at how well he took care of you. He took you out of Egypt. He took care of you throughout the Midbar like an only child. And you backstabbed him. You forgot about him. So he's going to punish you. And he has punished you. But eventually he'll set you free. He'll bring a geula for you. He'll redeem you and take revenge against your enemies. That's like in a nutshell what Parshas Hazinu is about. We call it a shira, we call it a song, and in fact it was actually a song, a weekly song in the Beis HaMikdash that the Leviim would sing on some of the karbanis. Every week they'd sing one aliyah. So the first week's song would be Rishon, roughly from this week's Parsha, Sheni, Shlishi, and there would be like a 6-week cycle, and then they'd repeat, going back from Rishon the next week. So if this is a song on the Parsha, and every week they're reading another aliyah, the Rebbe asks a great question, a very strong question. Some of the aliyahs seem very loving. Hashem loves us, he took care of us, he's like an eagle who takes care of their babies on their back. Beautiful, beautiful song. But then you have some aliyahs that just seem harsh and dark. You forgot your God. You got fat and spoiled, you forgot about him, so now Hashem's going to take it out on you. He's going to kill you. And it starts mentioning harsh punishments that Hashem's going to do to you, and the only reason why he's not going to kill you out is because he hates your enemies more than he hates you. These are very harsh psukim. And you're not even seeing the good from the beginning of the Parsha, you're not seeing the good at the end of the Parsha, because you're not reading it as one Parsha, you're just reading one aliyah. You go to the Beis HaMikdash, watch them bringing a karban, you hear the Leviim's song to Hashem. And that week, it would seem that Hashem's style of music is just heavy death metal. So how are we to make sense of each week being a shira when some weeks just seem so dark? And the Rebbe's answer is, if you look at the way the Rambam words this sequence of songs of Parshas Hazinu, it doesn't say every week they'd read a shira, a piece of Parshas Hazinu. It says in the Beis HaMikdash they would read Shiras Hazinu, like we read in the Torah, and they'd split it into 6 weeks. Meaning, don't view each aliyah, don't view each song that was happening each week as an individual song. But each high and each low was part of a greater song that was being completed in 6 weeks. There was not 6 different songs being sung on 6 different weeks. Some of those, if we severed and viewed them as their own song, just seem dark and no song, no praise, nothing good seems to be there. But if you view it in context of a bigger song, that there's an entire Shiras Hazinu, beginning by week 1, ending at week 6, and we're just following the episodes and the ups and the downs that make this song such a rich, complex, real life song and story of the Jewish people and Hashem, then we're able to appreciate it as a song. It's not an isolated dark aliyah. It's dark, but it's part of a much greater song that starts beautifully, and yes, it ends beautifully, even if it seems that there's pitfalls in the middle. We need to remember this, because sometimes really dark things happen in life that just, in simple English, sucks. And naturally, we start severing and saying, okay, something bad happened to me, so my life is bad. But we have to notice, it's an avodah, it's a calling in life to realize, don't define life by those bad things that happen to you. Remain grateful and notice how much good you have in your life. And yes, something bad happened, but that's just part of Hashem's confusing, rich, sophisticated style of music. Things start well. We're given many blessings, all of us, and even those that have bad things happen to them. We're given many gifts, many blessings, many people around us. Life starts good. The basis of life is good. Hashem is good. And it ends well. And we all know it ends well. We know it ends with Geula. We know it ends with Tchias HaMesim. We know in our own lives our stuff ends up getting worked out. Usually. So there are pitfalls in the middle, but the point is, don't sever those pitfalls and say, this is its own aliyah. How could this happen? So there's definitely a time and place where you could ask that, but realize how it's in context of a much greater song that has much beauty and much goodness too. And notice your negativity through the light of the greater song, and don't just sever it and make your life about that one small piece. This is very hard, but this is the calling of Parsha Hazinu. It goes one step further. Some of us make mistakes in life and do things that are ugly, do averis, and low and dark parts of us come out. And oftentimes we feel victimized by those, or we feel paralyzed, stuck. I'm such a low person, look at what I did. And the trick in life, Shabbos Shuvah, we read Hazinu and Shabbos Shuvah to realize I'm a Yid. I'm born good, I'm born wholesome and pure and godly. Life ends, and my neshama is pure, wholesome, and godly. There might be some dust that goes on in the middle, but I can't just make my life and think, I'm dusty, I'm dirty. Life starts good, life ends good. And part of that song is sometimes it gets complex, and good music has to have its ups and its downs, or else it's not good, rich music. But don't define it by its downs. Notice the downs, but as part of something much greater, much richer, something that starts off good, ends good, and therefore its entire yesod and foundation is good. And that's the story of our lives. Have a good Shabbos. Have a Gemar Chasima Tova. We should all hear good news and have a year of abundance. Kipshutei.